What's going on out there? I am the movie Phantom, and I want to welcome you to a very special edition of the Movie Phantom's Horror Review. One of my favorite things about summertime is the triple features at drive-in. Unfortunately, my drive-in is just like one of those mainstream drive-ins. Like this weekend, they're doing the Snow White and the Huntsman, the it's not like the good old days, and I hate to throw the word grindhouse around because that only really became popular when the movie Grindhouse came out. But I wish, I was alive in the days of like the exploitation grindhouse, drive-ins. But I'm in a small town, the crypt, the cemetery that I'm in, the lair, it's located in a very small town. We wouldn't have shit like that. So, but anyway, I do love, I love marathons, if you will. I always love movie marathons on TV. Big fan of it. Usually around Halloween time, you get a lot of, the Halloween movie marathons and everything. So I figured, why not? Let's go ahead and do it here. Fuck it, It's my show, right? Movie Fan show, so let's do this. So I want to welcome you to the first annual Summer Horror Movie Marathon. We got 5. That's right, count them. 5 movies we're going to review tonight. And, don't worry. The regularly scheduled, episode will reappear next week. So, I'm skipping over the, the news and the top, 3 and the viewer comments. But, I will pick all that up next week. So, for those of you who did answer the top 3, we have a few of you out there. I will get to it next week, I promise you. So, keep it in here. But right now, let's go ahead and get to it. Now, I do have 5 movies, like I said. I got visual aids for 3 of them. I had to rent the other 2. So, number 1 that we're going to do tonight will be The Descent. Boom. Right there. That's one I had to rent. I don't have a boom like that. The next one, I figure we've been hitting like the, heavy hitting mainstream, slasher dudes. And, well, got to do the one that kind of kick-started, boom. I can't really say kick-started. I guess Halloween kick-started. But Halloween was more like slasher suspense, whereas this was truly like that first by the numbers fucking slasher, So, Friday the 13th right here. Also on the list, we got Hellraiser. Boom. Another one of those he's a horror icon. Mr. Pinhead, we will get to him here in a little bit. The other one I got right here, don't have the thing to it. It was a recommendation from your favorite twins, Insidious. And I told you I'd get to it, and damn it, I will. So right here, Insidious, we'll review it. And finally, this was another recommendation. It came from my really good friend Alicia. Pet Sematary. So boom, there it is, 5 reviews, and you know what? Let's get to. Oh, and another thing is, I got like a little message from YouTube saying like I no longer have to worry about the 15-minute time limit. So that's fucking awesome right there. So hell yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of that starting tonight. So there is no cell phone up here with the little buzzer ready to go. Boom, right here, I'm hitting you right here. So let's go ahead and let's travel back to 2005 and let's do The Descent. The basic storyline is a group of, they're not really cave explorers, they're just kind of like extreme girls. Like they do white river rafting, and I'm assuming they did other shit along the way. Anyways, these group of girls are going down into this cave here in America. They're British, most of them are, I think. And yeah, there it is. And they're going to explore it. However, there's some shit down there they don't want to fuck with. And they see it. Descent, really good movie. Now this was the movie when it came out. When it came out here in the States, it was like, I just remember all the commercials were just like, this is the best, horror thriller since Alien. And I'm like, that's a lot of fucking hype. Like, it's a lot of pressure there. Like, you can't just fucking come out and say something like that and not expect me to be like, alright, I'm going to try to torpedo this thing now. Because, let's face it, I love Alien. To have, like, this movie called The Descent come out here with a bunch of chicks, mind you, and we're going to be like, this is, the best one since, really the best one since. So I was ready to just fucking, piss all over and just say it's a piece of shit movie. However, I was really surprised. Damn good movie, actually. The one thing I think it does kind of throw you off is the fact that it is a bunch of girls. So for all you sexist dudes out there, myself included, who are just like, well, it's just a bunch of girls running around the screen. No, it's not like that at all. In fact, they all kind of, I wouldn't say they all, but they all kind of do go to like their most animalistic primal fucking, state. I mean, to survive. I mean, at this point, boom, when they do encounter this, thing, and I won't give away too many things because once again, this was 2005. A decade buffer. I give a decade buffer. If the movie, if it hasn't been out for a decade, I won't spoil it for you. But yeah, so like I said, these girls are there. They give us some backstory. Now, there's one girl in there that basically, at the very beginning, she's in a wreck. She had her daughter and her husband with her, and boom, both of them are dead. So, it's one of those things where like she is just trying to get the pieces of her life back together. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, of course, she is used to all this extreme sport kind of thing, or whatever you want to call it. I'm thinking to myself, though, I don't know. I think I just sit this one out. But she goes in there and she decides she's gonna go into this cave. It takes a while to get into it. It like Alien, it does have this thing where, granted, there are a few jump shocks early on in the movie, but they're all false. Like, I guess I can spoil that part for you. Nothing really happens until well into the movie, but it is good that way because, I mean, it is building up each character. I mean, we're fleshing them out. It's giving them some substance to work with. And so when they finally get down there and shit does hit the fan, we kind of care a little bit more for these girls. And basically where they go wrong is they were supposed to go to this one cave system, and somehow this girl finds there's a uncharted cave system, which I don't know how you would find something like that. Like, I guess they just got a file somewhere to write, well, these are the uncharted ones. We don't look at these at all. And she somehow got a hold of one of those files, just like, I'm gonna check this one out right here. But anyways, they go down to this uncharted one, and they go in there. Now, as they're down there, and early on, if you got kind of look in the background, you will see these fucking creatures. I really think they're like humans at one point that kind of evolved or de-evolved, however you want to look at it, and are now basically mutants of the underworld, as you can say, in this cave. There's one scene in particular where, when as they're walking through a cave, you see way in the background, and it's not like a hidden thing. It's not like you have to actually look for it. I mean, if you're paying attention, you'll see it. But there's this creature, and it's right there, and you just see it kind of crouching down and shit. And it's kind of crazy, So you got a lot of that there. So once they get in there, as they're going through this cave, they get to this tunnel and it fucking collapses. And now there's only one way to, and I guess there's supposed to be 3 entrances altogether, or 2. I can't remember. I think there's 2. I think there was supposed to be 3 for the first cave they was going to, but they didn't go to that cave. But they find these ancient cave drawings, and there's there's a way in and a way out. So they know if they just keep going, they will eventually try to find their way out. And of course they run into these fucking bat people without wings. It's not like the cave. This is this is good. I'm not saying the cave sucks, but I'm just saying the cave is nowhere near. The cave is more like a B movie, where this is actually just damn good. So yeah, that's that right there. I definitely recommend it. Now, once again, it's British. I know some people out there. I just have certain friends who are just like, as soon as they hear an accent, they're like, I'm done. And I'm like, I don't get that. I just don't quite understand that. And I hope I'm not just talking condescending to all you out there. I mean, I'm not saying you're all like that. I'm just saying the ones I talk to are like that. They're like, oh, that sounds funny. Turn it off. And so, don't do that. Watch it. Damn good movie. There is a... The weird thing was, see, at the time, I worked at the movie theater, local movie theater we have here. Yes, the Phantom got a day job. And anyways, or a night job, as the case may be. We got The Descent, and I watched it. But I found out that when I watched it, that there is, in fact, the original and then a U.S. version. Now, I won't say, won't give it, anything away, but, the version, the U.S. version, they just, lopped off, 5-10 minutes off the end. Maybe not that much, probably, 3 or 4, but whatever, they lop off just the end. That's the only difference. So, the ending we get, I'm like, I mean, it's not a bad ending, but it's whatever. So, I've read it about the other ending, but then when I went to go rent it to, get fresh up here, so when I, do this review, I'd be, fresh, the DVD is actually the original, thing. I'm not sure if it had the U.S. version on there or not. You don't really need it. I mean, just get to that part, there's a certain part, you can just hit the stop button. There's the U.S. version, I guess. But, yeah, so there are 2 versions out there, but the DVD that I got, anyways, was the original. So, and it's good to see both. I'm not going to kind of like the original ending that they originally had on there. I mean, it's a little different, but I like it. Not bad. So, boom, there it is. The Descent, definitely recommend it. Up next, one of my personal favorites, Friday the 13th. You know what? I watch this thing at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. It's that fucking good. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, it is just like a by the numbers ripoff of Halloween. Let's just, instead of having suspense, let's just have some blood and guts and killing. What's wrong with that? If it's done well, I'm okay with it, and it is done very well here. Basic story is a bunch of young, I don't think they're teenagers, I'd say they're out of high school. I'm guessing. They don't really specify. Young people are, at Camp Crystal Lake, and there's a killer on the loose. Alright, 1980, so guess what? Spoiler alert. I'm sure I'm going to ruin this for everybody out there. I'm sure no one's even seen this. Jason Voorhees is not the killer. Oh shit, I'm sorry, God, I didn't mean it. I should have said spoiler. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, his mother, Pamela Voorhees. Yeah, she was one pissed off bitch. This one, what I really dig about this, maybe it's because I grew up with it. I mean, maybe that's the thing, is like, I was young, I watched it, loved it then, and just keep watching it over and over and over. But it's perfect in almost every way for me. I mean, dude, the gore is spot on. Dude, when Kevin Bacon gets the arrow, or not, I think it's the arrow, right through the neck, like whenever she pops up and like that, dude, it looks spectacular. The acting's not that bad. Like everybody, I've read reviews before, just like, well, the act. I'm like, what? I've seen worse by like, polished A-list, studio, mainstream productions. This is not bad at all for its genre. Not bad at all. Dude, the score for this, incredible. I'm not gonna lie, Harry. I'm gonna butcher this last name. Harry Manfredini. Yeah, Manfredini. Damn, there it is. I love. He had like a. It's definitely. Oh shit! I can't believe I'm forgetting this. Bernard Herrmann, the dude who does Hitchcock stuff. Definitely a lot of nods to some Hitchcock type. Like definitely Psycho, particularly Psycho and the Birds. You can definitely kind of hear it in here. But you know what? It's still good. It's great. You know what? I mean, this is one of those, like, it took like a Nightmare on Elm Street review I did, either last week or week before last. I don't know what else to say about this. Like, literally, you can't, I mean, everything's been said about this. This is just a freaking classic. I definitely recommend this. Yes, Jason's not in it until the very end. Once again, you know this. Like, I'm telling you shit you already know. Like, right now you're getting bored and you're like, let's go on to the next one because I know this shit. But yes, Jason, pops out of the lake at the end. She's in the boat. It's one of the best horror scenes, flat out, ever. So yes, Friday 13th. Check it out. Boom. Up next, we're going to go up. 1987 for Hellraiser. Alright, here's the thing about this one. When I watched it when I was younger, it's a roller coaster for me. Initially, I didn't care for it. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I didn't really care for it. Because, as a kid, I already knew who Pinhead was. I think like most kids today, like you name an iconic horror, character, whether it be Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, whatever. Don't even see any of the movies, but they know who you're talking about. They know exactly who you're talking about. They know like half the rules to the movie too. Like they know Freddy Krueger will get you in your dreams. Never seen a fucking movie, they know already. So I knew Pinhead was this dude, and chains would come out and get you wherever. So I was expecting to be more like a a Nightmare on Elm Street. And you watch this, it's really it's not like don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like this, not just the fantasy element. I'm just talking like Pinhead's not even like the main killer. Now it's not. Once again, this is the kid this is the kid fan I'm talking here. I almost dropped the real name there too, man. The kid fan I'm talking here. Yes, I was expecting it to be more like this is a Pinhead movie. That's what I was expecting. You don't get that at all. You get this story where, and the basic plot of this is, this family moves into, not even a family, it's a guy and his girlfriend, because he's got a daughter who's in college, and she's not even living there. So it's just basically him and his wife, her stepmom, and move into his house, and you find out his brother is dead, because he was fucking around with the box there, and, and basically, now don't try to find logic in this, because I don't even quite get how it was there, but basically like his heart and like part of a body thing was under the floorboards, and blood. He needs blood to basically regenerate and become whole again, become human, if you will, or alive, or whatever you call it. So the story is basically focused around that. Like, Pinhead, who's not even called Pinhead in this movie. He is the lead Cenobite, as he's listed in the movie. It's not even really his movie. It's more about this, family. And I mean, once again, when you're younger and you're expecting one thing, you just dismiss it easily. And I just threw it to the side. I got a little bit older, checked it out again, and I loved it. I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, this is just the best thing ever. I only got the 3. This was followed by shitloads. I think like 9 altogether. It's supposed to have a remake coming out soon. I don't know what the fuck happened to that. Like, they had 8. Supposed to have a remake. Somehow I got scrapped or whatever, and then they did a 9th one that doesn't even have Doug Bradley in it. But we'll go on a rant about that later. Anyways, I got the 3, and I really dug the first 2. But they were I didn't really care for 3 that much, because 3, he does become the Freddy Krueger of the Hellraiser series. So the first 2 just has like this different feel to them, and I definitely love them. Watching it again recently, I kind of feel like the second one's definitely the better one. Like, and don't get me wrong, this is still good. And I mean, I'm not saying nothing bad about the effects are decent. This is the first time. I mean, most people will kind of laugh at claymation. Claymation ain't bad. I mean, and especially the scene where Frank starts kind of resurrecting, not quite, but he's getting there. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good scene. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. But once again, I do think the second one is better. The one thing I do like about this one is the fact that it just, you can't quite put your finger on it, but there is like this odd, dark sexuality going through this film. And once again, you can't quite place like, well, what's so, but it is. There's just like this weird dark side to it, and I love it. I do love that aspect of it. You find out basically that, and this is, I guess, true about most women, but the dude's wife's just a total whore. One day when he's gone, Frank shows up. That's his brother. It's kind of, I ain't gonna say rape, because she was clearly into it, but he kind of forces himself on her, and she lets him in. And of course, she's hooked on the cock, and at this point, she will do anything to get some more cock. And she does. So what happens is he's not getting satisfied. He's like fucking Mick Jagger. You can't get no satisfaction. So he's trying to take it to the next level. Well, that's when he comes across this box. Now how he comes across it, I'm not sure. Yeah, I heard. I think they may explain it in part 2, but it's been a while since I've seen part 2. But anyways, he comes across this box. He plays with it, and chains come out and they just fucking rip him apart. Pain for pleasure, S&M kind of stuff. I don't normally get into that kind of stuff. Not even big on masturbating to it, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know. I just kind of, I'll just go something else and then, But, anyways, it's like, I think his soul, and I guess they take certain body parts to hell, but they leave, like, the heart under the floorboards. Like, I don't quite get that, but whatever. As they're moving, she's up there remembering the great time she had getting fucked by this dude. And her husband, who's trying to move this bed, he gets caught on this nail and just fucking rips his hand up. And he comes in there, blood drips on the floorboards, and it gets absorbed, and he comes, he gets resurrected. Of course, he only comes back as like a half man in a way. Like, he's just kind of, he has to crawl. He's still very skeletal, some guts and shit, really messy looking. So they realize what they have to do is like they need more more blood. They need more bodies. So it just, once again, she gets moist every time she, around this weird half, dead guy. She goes out to pick up Johns, bring him back, and then fucking she hits him with a hammer, exits, and then of course Frank takes him and takes their life force, if you will, or whatever. So he's building it all up and everything until he comes back whole. The daughter catches wind of this and she sees it and she freaks out. Well, she gets the box and she goes out. And somehow, like, this puzzle box, I mean, it's called a puzzle box, but it seems like any jackass who gets a hold of it just solves it instantly. There's like, oh shit, there's Pinhead and, the other Cenobites. So whenever she does open it, sure enough, the Cenobites show up. And she didn't really make a deal with them, I guess. I mean, but she does kind of, stall her, being taken to hell by telling them that, there is one guy who made it out, it's this Frank. Because at this point, no, Frank didn't, no, not yet. So anyway, she tells him that, Frank's out and everything. So they kind of let her go for the time being. She gets back there. She finds out that Frank kills the dad, and then of course the Cenobites come to take Frank back, but then they turn on her, and somehow like she just realizes how to turn it certain ways, and then like she just holds it out to him, and it just kind of disappears. I'm not gonna lie, the end of it kind of loses it for me. Like up until the point where I guess Pinhead's really kind of introduced for like when he does like after his whole speech, after he's like we will tear your soul apart or whatever. It seems like at that point on, I just don't care anymore. It just kind of like it just gets kind of muddled, and it's like they're just trying to hurt and wrap it up at this point. One thing I did notice about this as I'm watching it the other night was that there was a scene where the stepmom has the daughter, and Frank, who now looks like her dad, is gonna kill her because I mean he's not fully complete yet. He's still got some blood behind the ears or whatever. He just one more probably gave him pretty good. But he goes for her, she moves, and he has a stepmom. Well, he goes through with it anyways. Doesn't care. He's like, nothing personal. Before that happens, though, dude, the daughter, comes up and claws the face, and he has, like, a hunk of skin ripped out of his face, right? So when he does, he stabs the stepmom by accident, but then takes her life force anyways, he doesn't heal. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, he's a half-torso man. We see him regenerate each time he kind of gets a new body. He's near 100%. Like right now he's like 99%. Just got some blood behind the ears and like this hunk of skin off his face. I'm like, dude, and you see her drain. Like she turns like old and withered as he's fucking taking her life force, and he doesn't heal. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a reason behind that. I don't know. Yes, the last thing I'll say about this one is the score is great. Christopher Young does a fantastic job. It's very operatic and beautiful. Like I know it sounds kind of gay, but it does sound beautiful. Like it just has this very, I don't know, especially the resurrection scene when he starts coming back. Dude, the music is incredible there. Yes, I do recommend it. You may find your new horror series franchise right here. For those who have never seen a Hellraiser movie, yeah, I do recommend you check it out. And don't think I'm dissing. I mean, I do like the movie. I'm saying I like part 2 better. I like because in part 2 you kind of go to hell, and I love their version of it. I love like their interpretation of what hell looks like. I think it's just brilliant. Best one I've seen thus far. But yeah, that's Hellraiser right there. Boom. Now up next we got Insidious. Now I don't have the 2 right there, but whatever. Now this was a recommendation from your favorite twins. And don't get me wrong, there's been other people, before them who were just like, Phantom, you need to check this movie out. Lynch Ramsey was definitely, he was one of them. He kept trying to get me to watch it. I did, got, some other friends, they're like, you should check it out. Here's the thing about, okay, the basic problem of Insidious is basically, ghosts are in a house. Like, if you just had to break it down to, like, it's very minute thing, it's a haunted house story. Except their big thing is like, well, it's the house that's not haunted. It's the boy who's haunted. Which doesn't quite make sense. Even after I watched it, I was like, it still doesn't, what? Like, no. If a person's haunted, that means they're possessed. He doesn't really get possessed, though, so guess what? He's not really haunted. It's like there's still hauntings around. I don't know. I was not looking forward to this movie because I realized one thing about myself. I was talking to the man with no name the other day, and he was talking about how he just doesn't really care for ghost stories. Now, I was kind of, I throw my case out there because I do like ghost stories. Like, there's a lot of good ones out there. The Amityville, fucking The Others, Orphanage. I mean, there's some good ones out there. I know I'm probably missing a shitload too, but there are some. Serve Echoes. I do like them, but here's the thing: I don't ever get excited for them. Like, if I'm sitting there in the theater and a new trailer comes on and it's like, oh, a new haunted house movie, I can give a shit because a lot of them are just the same shit you've seen a million times. Almost every fucking one of them. Dude, the last one I watched that was supposed to be like the biggest one was The Haunting in Connecticut. You kidding me? That was just so fucking ridiculous. Wasn't scary. And the other thing was, it was just so fucking illogical. Like, I'm tired of ghost movies where, like, the ghosts will spend the entire fucking movie scaring the shit out of you. And then when you, like, at the end you find out, like, oh, they're the good ghosts. They're trying to help you. Are you kidding me? They exorcise the boy, they cleanse the house, and then they find out like, oh, the ghost that was haunting them were protectors, because there's evil ghosts out there. Now, if I'm a ghost and I'm your protector, guess what? I'm not gonna fucking spook you for like an hour and 10 minutes before you guys exorcise me. I'm gonna be like, hey, listen, I'm the movie Phantom. I'm your ghost. Guess what? I'm protecting you from these guys. There's a lot of assholes out here that want to, fucking invade you. I'm here. I'm holding them back. So hey, just so we're clear, you come down here late at night and you see like this weird figure standing there. Don't freak out. It's me. I'm a ghost, and that's it. And I would just kind of float away. No, they just pop out at you out of the darkness and they write weird messages and shit. Stir of Echoes the same way. Stir of Echoes was a good movie, but same kind of concept. Sixth Sense, What Lies Beneath. They're all the same. Like, it's just a ghost who has something to say, but instead of just saying like, "Hey, here's what I'm trying to tell you," no, I'll just scare you like every fucking time. I don't know. So when I seen the trailer for Insidious, I just didn't give a shit. I was like, "Fuck it." I like James Wan, whatever you pronounce his name, dude who directed Saw and Death Sentence. Good director. But he's not a draw for me yet. Like, I still just, like, if I see his name, I'm not going to be like, "Hey, let me check this out now." Just don't care. They're right from producers of, Paranormal Activity as well. Once again, at the time, I never seen it. Like, I just recently watched Paranormal Activity movies. And they're good. I've seen 1 and 3. Both of them solid movies. But, once again, at the time, and even now, like, if I see that dude's name, that O-Pen or Oren Piali or whatever, the dude who directed the first one. If I see his name attached, I don't give a shit. Like Chernobyl Diaries, it may be alright. I'm not going to it because it's the dude who did Paranormal Activities, because he's just not a draw for me yet. So they're like, that's what they're basing this whole movie on. They're just like, it's Saw and Paranormal Activities together. Fucking watch it. It's a ghost story. And I was just like, I don't care. So I literally just refused. I was like, I won't watch it. But once again, everybody kept saying you should check it out. And finally, your favorite twins is like, recommend it. And I will, when you throw a recommendation at me, if I see it's like a legit horror movie, I'll check it out. I'll do it on here. So I watch it. Once again, ready to torpedo it. And I'll tell you right now, it's not bad. It's actually a really good movie. Does it have flaws? Yes, it does. It has a shitload of flaws. But it's still an enjoyable, horror movie. One thing I like about this is it doesn't rely on just shock scares every fucking 5 minutes. It actually builds up. And I love that. Like, that was my favorite kind of, horror movies in general, is just they build up on you. This actually, I'm not saying it reminded me of it in particular, but it seems like it's like a different, it's like the Poltergeist of our generation now. That's how I kind of viewed this movie. And there's a lot of similarities between the two, obviously. And I won't say much. I mean, this came out just 2 years ago, 2010 when it came out. So, I mean, I'm not going to drop hardcore spoilers, but just I guess like this, the feel of it, it's had like this kind of like it's a new, better Poltergeist. I didn't like Poltergeist hardly at all. This was just, I don't know, good ghost story. The one thing I do like about it was it's a ghost story per se, but this isn't really a spoiler. It may be, but I won't really go too far into it. But basically, the boy's in a coma, and like his spirit is lost from his body. So now all these other ghosts are just trying to get to that body and possess it, and that's where we're coming from right here. Now you find this out, way later into it. But yeah, I mean, you know what? It was a solid, good one. It does have some good scares in it too. Not gonna lie, Phantom jumped a couple times. The one thing I didn't like about it, direction was ridiculous. Now, once again, I saw Saw. I think he directed something else between that. He may have directed Dead Silence, but don't quote me on that. I think they just produced it, but I don't know if he directed it or not. I could be completely off on that one. I didn't see it anyways. But then he did Death Sentence. Now I thought direction in both of those were pretty decent. Like, I mean, nothing great, but like it wasn't bad. I only thought his direction in Death Sentence was better than Saw. So I was expecting it to be pretty good, but he has like these weird camera things where it's like, it's not necessarily the angles, it's the way the camera's moving. And it's not even moving like in a Chernobyl Diaries, it has like that found footage look. And that's what a lot of horror movies are doing today. I noticed that. They're just like, fuck stationary cameras. We're just going to handheld it and pretend like it's a found footage, but it's really not. We got a script. It wasn't quite like that either. It was almost like the ghosts themselves were holding the camera. Like, there's a lot of shots of this, like the camera wobbling. I mean, I guess it's supposed to kind of throw you off, like, oh, is there a ghost watching? I mean, that's his point. I'm just saying, it was just a little distracting for me. Like, I'm just like, man, this is just kind of ridiculous. And there's just like one second they were above the stairs and just kind of doing this number, and I'm just like, really? Buddy, just fucking bolt it into the wall and fucking film, That's just me. It definitely had a really good score, like an old school, like gothic horror score. I did like that. And guess what, my boy? I'll butcher his name. Lee Wendell, the The dude from Saw, the guy that everybody was bashing, that I defended when I did my Saw review. He wrote the script and he stars in this one again. He's like one of the ghost hunters, basically. He's got like he's not the gadget one, but he's like the guy who's helping get out the gadgets. He's back, and guess what? He did really good. In fact, that's another thing about this movie was the acting was pretty bad at times. Like, it wasn't horrible all around, but dude, there's some deliveries, especially from the mother and the father of the team. Dude, they were just it wasn't believable at all. Hardly sometimes they just definitely delivered some lines ridiculous. Like, really, the only one that was consistent was Barbara Hershey, the great Barbara Hershey. She did really good. She plays like the grandmother that's there. The kids didn't do too bad, and then Lee. My boy Lee did alright. Guess what? Did better than the lead actor. So, to all the Lee Wendell or Wandel or however the fuck you pronounce his last name, to all his haters, guess what? So yeah, didn't do too bad. So yes, Insidious, damn good. And you know what? I will eventually buy it. Like, it will go up on the rack. It'll go in the horror movie section over there. So, boom. Thank you, Your Favorite Twins, for making that recommendation. It was a damn good movie. Want to go ahead and throw my apologies out there to the friends who told me I should check it out. I just was too stubborn to watch it. And especially, I guess, to my brother Lynch. But guess what? You'll be wrong about the next 7 movies you recommend because you got shitty taste. I'm sorry. You just do. Oh, and when you do watch this, the ending's pretty good too. Like, I'm not going to lie. We all know like a horror movie ending. It does have a horror movie. But guess what? It's a good ending. So, however, just stick around past the credits. Like, there is, like, it's nothing to the plot. Like, it's just a nice little PS to the movie. But after the credits, it's a little tiny thing. I definitely recommend that. Like, I'm the kind of guy that will sit through, like, I'll be at the theater. And not just for, like, your mainstream, like, superhero movies where you're expecting it. I'm not, any fucking movie. I watched Final Destination 5. I'm just sitting there like a jackass. Nothing even happened, but I'm just waiting. Like, oh, fuck it, something will come up. You know, so I do that with every movie. So, yeah, I'll notice the end of that. So yes, that's that. Now we're going to go to 1989, our final movie this evening, Pet Sematary. This was a recommendation from Alicia. And if you remember, this was in my top 3 favorite Stephen King movies. Dude, I fucking love this. And this is another one I'll watch probably 2 or 3 times. I won't even lie, about 2 or 3 times a year I'll probably watch this. Like, whenever, it's one of those up there like with The Shining and, you know, Halloween and Friday the 13th. That, you know, when there's nothing else that I can think of, like, well, you know, what can I watch? I'm just bored of everything. I just fall back on this, throw it in, fucking watch it, because it's great. I'll tell you right now, like, okay, the basic or the concept of this is there is a pet cemetery that's beyond the pet cemetery, and you know, you bury something up there, it will come back. Because the tagline says, sometimes dead is better, and you will see why. So this new family moves in. You know, the father's a doctor, stay-at-home mom. They got a little daughter who's in school, forget what grade, and then you got, you know, little baby Gage right there. Toddler, probably like, you know, 2 or something like that. Anyway, then you got a little cute cat, little Church. And anyway, when they move, you know, in there, you know, they find this trail behind their house. Well, the neighbor, who was a fucking, oh, dude, the Munster guy. I can't think of the Munster's first name. Jesus Christ. He was the main one. He's the dad, the Frankenstein guy. Anyways, Ed Gwynn, I think is his name. I don't even have it on here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Fred Gwynn. Anyways, he's the neighbor. He's awesome, this one, dude. Like, if anybody who's seen South Park who has not seen this, you will see, like, there's a character in South Park that shows up, like, 2 or 3 times throughout the season, or series, that references this guy. This is where they got it from right here. Anyway, it's funny because I'll hear him talk here. I'm just thinking about South Park as I'm watching this now. But anyways, he takes him on this trail and takes him to the pet cemetery, which is, of course, spelled wrong. And it's funny because, like, you know, whenever anybody writes this down, like, since, you know, I've been doing the top 3s, Pet Sematary has been popping up in there. And, of course, everybody spells it different. Like, everybody has, like, a different wrong spelling to it. I mean, there actually was no right one since this is technically misspelled. But, yeah, it's a regular Pet Cemetery. There's nothing special to this one. It's the land beyond it that when you go back there, you know, bury some. And what happens is they live next to this highway that is just, I guess there's 2 truck stations apparently that just semis going by there, you know, a million times a day. And of course the cat gets hit while like the family except for the dad is away for Thanksgiving. And so anyways, you know, he's there and he's just like, oh, you know, shit, what we're gonna do. He's planning on burying him in the pet cemetery. Well, the guy tells him, we're gonna go up here, and you have to like climb over this huge fucking like wall of like dead trees and shit, and just journey this ridiculously hard journey up like this cliff thing. And there it is, like on top of these like it's damn near like a mountain. It's like it's like part of a quarry up there. Yeah, you bury him. Well, then of course it comes back, and comes back. Obviously just evil and shit. This movie was a movie that scared the shit out of me when I was younger. Like, I didn't have too many movies that scared me, but this was one of them. For two reasons. When I was younger, the one that scared me a lot when I was younger, and then I grew up, I kind of got out of it, was Victor Pascal. He's a guy who gets hit by a truck, and the doctor dad tries to save him. Lewis Creed tries to save him. And, it doesn't work. Well, however, like, he kind of becomes, like, his guardian angel in a way, like, his protector, trying to lead him, like, stay away from the pet cemetery. And, dude, that guy was just creepy, because he don't really pop out. He's just, like, over there across the room. He's just standing there. He's like, wake up, Doc, it's time to go. And, dude, like, he's not even menacing, but it's still scary as shit. Like, his brains is hanging out, and he's, like, wearing, like, he's in, like, he got bicycle shorts on. He has, like, bicycle shorts and, like, fucking hoodie, like, zipped up. Shouldn't be menacing, dude. It scared the shit out of me when I was younger. And dude, like, he pops up here and there. And of course, at the end, he's more like, like, he's not scary to him. But dude, very beginning, when you first see him as like a ghost, dude, scary as shit. Like, I was just freaking out. But I grew up. But the one thing that scared me a lot, even when I grew up, it still kind of scared me, was the Sister Zelda. They kept in the back room. And dude, she was like, she had like, I think they said like spinal meningitis. And she was just kind of like, fucking twisted, and they got like the makeup on, and I guess like, and actually it was played by a dude. Like, I didn't know that for the longest time. Yeah, a dude played it, and it don't matter. It's creepy either way. But dude, like, it's not the first time you see her. The first time, whenever the mom's talking, there's a whole story about how, they kept her in the back room, whatever, blah blah. Blah. Anyways, because you guys have definitely, most of you have seen this already, so I'm gonna skim some shit. But anyways, not when she's telling the story the first time. It's when she starts having the nightmares about her sister. Dude, and then like the voice changes and gets all dark and, we're coming to get you, me and Gay. I'm like, dude, that's scary. And then there's a scene where like when she comes back to town and she goes up there and she hears the sister, and when she enters the room, dude, the sister's over there, and of course she's all curled up in the ball looking up at her. And then she runs to her camera. Now once again, there's no like music coming up, there's no like no loud scare. You see her just running toward the camera, dude, I would jump every time, like literally. I'm just getting to a point now where I'm comfortable, watching at night. Anyways, still, it was a scary fucking scene. So yes. Now last week I mentioned about, how 28 days later, when the father, played by Brendan Gleeson, gets infected, it's kind of a heart, tugs at your heartstring kind of thing. It's emotional. Nothing compared to this. When little Gage gets hit by a semi. Yes, he gets hit by a semi. Dude, and I think it's the older I get, the more like heart-wrenching it becomes. Like, and I mean, I have no, like, there is no little fams running around here. Like, I have no kids. I couldn't imagine, even that, I still can't imagine like having your kid hit and killed in front of you. In fact, little side note, that is actually where Stephen King got the idea for the story was. I guess they would have like some kind of cookout, just like in the movie, and one of his kids took off running. Excuse me. I usually I got the little breaks in here and I get a little something to drink there. I have to remember that next time, give me a little something to drink here. Anyways, and of course he gets him right last second, pulls him back, and of course nothing happened. But Stephen King always said, like, what if? And that kind of haunted him, he said. He said, like, just the thought, like, if he would have tripped, if he would have stumbled, if he would have hesitated for any, thing at all, he wouldn't have grabbed his kid, and of course his son would have been splattered like, poor little Gage was. And that's where, the idea initially came from for the Pet Cemetery. And, in this one, he doesn't make it. And of course, dude, and every time I watch it, it's like, I remember when I was younger, I had I wouldn't really call them, I had a girlfriend, and like her parents and like their relatives. I overheard them talking one time. They told me how they watched the movie Titanic, which, anyways, they were like, every time at the end, they always like hope that somehow Jack would survive. And I was like, that's the most stupidest thing I ever heard. Are you fucking kidding me? That's just retarded. That's beyond retarded, actually. That's just, whatever. But now I'm watching this, and I tend to be like, man, just grab him, like fucking, don't let him get in the road. And dude, like every time, dude, I mean, and dude, it's just, and it ain't graphic, it's not exploitation. You see the semi come, and then you just kind of see like the kite wither away, and then you see like one shoe on the road, and dude, and then it hits like, instead of flashbacks, they show like pictures on the pavement, like on the road of like Gage being born and like a birthday or whatever. And dude, it really is like, oh my god, it's very emotional, and it really is. I mean, it's tough. I'm not gonna lie. And but anyways, I guess like any father would do if you knew there was a chance. So at this point, he's already taken the cat back, and the cat came back fucking nuts or whatever. But he realizes like well, there is a chance. Like if I take my kid up there, he can come back, and so he does. And believe me, Gage comes back, like the kid's a cute little kid, but then when he becomes evil, he's even wearing like a black outfit. That's ridiculous. Anyways, dude, I mean, that kid, I don't know who the kid's name was. I don't think he's even on the credits here. Dude, the kid did an excellent job. Like, he looks fucking evil as shit. Dude, and of course, he takes out the neighbor. What the fuck was his name? Judd. Dude fucking slices the back of his ankle. I'm talking like some hostile shit. And then like as he slits like his mouth, he starts biting the neck. I mean, it's just ruthless, dude. Like this little kid ain't fucking around at all. And yeah, I mean, just once again, one of my favorite movies of all time. Highly recommend it. I mean, there ain't a single movie on this countdown I did tonight that's bad. Every one of them you should definitely check out, but especially this one. This one is just fucking brilliant right here. So yes, Alicia, thank you for the recommendation. And yeah, because I already had it. Wasn't really but thank you for recommending it for the show, and I did my review on it. So yeah, that's it. And and a little thing too, has one of my favorite bands of all time doing the title track for the credits, the Ramones. So yeah, and they even have this song. It's a song that they even have a song where like some fat trucker, which I know like this redneck fat trucker would never be jamming to the Ramones in his semi, but fuck it. But he's listening to Sheena is a punk rocker. I don't know. That part, every time I see this scene, I'm just like, because it's coming up, Gage will get hit by a truck, but leading up to it, it's like, how's it? Like, this fact, I don't even know the words are. Like, he's like singing off key, but like just barely behind, I don't know. Anyways, damn good. So yeah, there it is. Boom, movie marathon in the bag. So you know what? Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. So later.